Jon Jones may currently be holding the UFC heavyweight division hostage. Not too long ago, Tom Aspinall said something along the lines of, "Oi, Governor, Jon Jones should be stripped of the title, he should." All jokes aside, Tom Aspinall said, "I think Jon Jones should be stripped of the title, to be honest, because everyone else does when they get injured like that. I don't see why he's still got it. I don't understand that. I think I should be the real champion right now." And about an entire month later, Jon Jones would go on to tweet this: "I faced the absolute toughest competition this world had to offer for 15 years now. During camp for a title defense, I sustained a major injury that required surgery for the first time in my career. Now I have newcomers requesting I get my championship stripped, 0 wins over legends, 0 title defenses, and are already thinking you can call the shots. To Dana. That's hilarious. In my 15-year career, I have seen so many guys who are supposed to be the next big thing. There's ever only been one Jon Jones. Never forget that." To which Tom Aspinall would reply, "You're right. Sorry, John." Now, both men went on their merry way, and there was no back and forth between them on Twitter for about a month. And then the Twitter beef went absolutely wild. On January 4th and 5th, Tom Aspinall would tweet out a series of tweets. We're only going to be focusing on the one on the bottom and the one on the top. We will start with the one on January 4th. Last time Stipe fought and won, GTA San Andreas had just come out on the PS2. He will fight next for the undisputed heavyweight title ahead of me, who's the interim champ, active and ranked number 1 in the world right now. This makes me quite upset. Now that tweet would get Tom Aspinall a bunch of hate, and he would put out a series of tweets kind of trying to deflect all of that hate. But then on January 5th, Tom Aspinall would tweet out this: "I'm just trying to be the best and fight the best people. I know that's hard for a lot of people to get their heads around. Don't be so triggered, guys." And a few days would go by and Jon Jones would reply with this: "Only 4 recognizable opponents and already the King of England. Must be nice. There will be legendary tales told about you in your infamous callouts." Now, a fan would then comment on this post by Jones saying, "He's done all he can do. You can't blame him for being frustrated." Jon Jones would reply by saying, "I mean, it doesn't really work like that. I was champion when I was 23 years old. You can't show up at the age of 30 pretending like you've been chasing me your whole life. I have no clue who 90% of his resume is. Meanwhile, I've been highlighting UFC events my entire career." Aspinall would then reply, "John, you're letting your ego run wild here, mate. I'm not downplaying your resume. It's incredible, far superior to mine. You are known as the best fighter ever, and that's exactly why I want to beat you. Surely you can understand that." Jon Jones would then reply by saying this: "Tom, you're talking about someone's ego running wild? It's one of the most hypocritical things ever. You literally haven't kept my balls out of your mouth since you won your imaginary championship. Both you and Sergey have 0 championships between your name. It's funny that you actually walk around feeling like the world champion, especially when the actual champion is undefeated and had a flawless last performance. Literally didn't get hit my last fight." And this is where things would kind of turn around. Everybody up to this point had kind of been hating on Tom Aspinall. However, the hate would start to come back Jon Jones's way. And you could see that if you look at the comments on this post. Jones is justifying the ducking, lol. John, how is he supposed to win the championship if the champion won't fight him? Do you even know what you're saying? Now, we are almost done, I promise you. These are a lot of tweets to get through. Jon Jones would then go on to say, "My Stipe fight was booked well before yours came along. You weren't even the backup fighter. Trust me, you're the one who is coming around here with an inflated ego and entitlement. The interim championship means absolutely nothing if you haven't noticed yet. All your fight did at Madison Square Garden was confuse the fans. Good thing the UFC is 2 long-standing champions are all on the same page. The UFC, Stipe, and I have unfinished business. It's really just that simple." And the replies to this weren't good either. Tom Aspinall would then go on to tweet, "Forget all the other stuff about titles and resumes, etc. I think I could beat you in a fight, mate, but if you don't want to, I won't keep chasing you." Jon Jones would then say, "What I refuse to do is be like a lot of these other fighters who stuck around too long. That just won't happen. Your boy Bones Jones over here, despite what a lot of people may like to think, I've set myself up pretty well in life. I want Stipe for my resume. Outside of that, I need nothing else from the sport. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Facts." And to be honest, the replies to this weren't too good either. Somebody would then comment on this post by saying, retiring after Stipe confirmed then. Jon Jones would reply, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is coming back from 2 different surgeries and defeating Stipe is my primary goal, and a huge feat if you ask me. We both have already agreed to massive contracts. A win for either one of us would be absolutely massive for either of our careers. Despite how good Tom may seem right now, a win over him really does nothing for my legacy. That's the truth. That's all I'm saying. I understand a lot of you guys don't fully understand what's happening behind the scenes. You don't make it as far as myself and Stipe not realizing the business side of this. And that was kind of the end of the Twitter drama. Neither gentleman has tweeted anything since. And to be honest, I think both men actually have very valid points here. I do think Tom Aspinall should be next in line for a title shot over Stipe. Jon Jones's fight with Stipe fell apart because he got injured, and that surgery has actually put Jon Jones out for 8 months. Tom Aspinall won the interim heavyweight title at UFC 295 in November, and I can almost guarantee you that Jon Jones will not be back at the end of that 8-month recovery period. It'll probably be a couple of additional months after that before he fights. I would guess anywhere between 4 and 6 months, or maybe even longer since he's coming off of an injury. That means the UFC will not have a real heavyweight champ. It will not have a unified heavyweight champ. It will not have an undisputed UFC champ for over a year because Tom Aspinall is currently interim champ. If Jon Jones does retire after the Stipe Miocic fight, and to be honest, according to the tweets, it looks like he may, and I think that is the most likely thing that is going to happen, he will have held the division hostage for nearly a year, just because he wants a photo opportunity with the belt and to say he was champion when he retired. When Jamal Hill got hurt, he gave up the belt immediately. When Yuri Prochazka got hurt, he gave up the belt immediately. Why can Jon Jones not do the same thing so the division can move on? And even if Jon Jones does retire, he will not retire the unified champion. He will retire a disputed champion. Because, like I said earlier, there is an interim champion in Tom Aspinall. To be honest, that's not going to look very good for Jon Jones's legacy. Jon Jones, without a doubt, is one of the greatest fighters of all time. His spot in the Hall of Fame is secured forever. People will be talking about him for decades. However, if he retires while Tom Aspinall is interim championship, that is going to leave a slight stain on his legacy. People will always ask the question, what happens if Jon Jones fought Tom Aspinall? I agree with Tom Aspinall somewhat. I think things have changed. He's the interim champ and should get the next shot. Fights fall apart all the time. I don't see why it should be any different for Jon Jones. However, on the other hand, I also do slightly agree with Jon Jones. This fight with Stipe has been scheduled for a while now, and it's clear that it's a massive fight for both gentlemen, and probably a pretty big payday. And to scrap the fight wouldn't be fair to Stipe Miocic or Jon Jones. Jon Jones has done a lot for the sport, and I think it should be taken into consideration. Him and Stipe Miocic both deserve this big fight. And as a fan of both men, both Tom Aspinall and Jon Jones, I do feel conflicted. On one hand, it does feel like Jon Jones is holding the heavyweight division hostage because he wants to say he was champion when he retired. And on the other hand, you have a very active Tom Aspinall who has worked very hard to get to the top of the division, who deserves a title shot. If Jon Jones does retire after the Stipe fight, I agree with Tom Aspinall, and Jon Jones will have held the division hostage essentially a year, just so he could have held onto the belt just a little longer. And if Jon Jones beats Stipe Miocic and comes back and fights Tom Aspinall and wins, his legacy is secured even further. But like I said, I'm conflicted. I really don't know what to think here. What do you guys think? If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas for future videos, ideas on how this one could get better, please let me know. Anyways, I love all of you. Peace out, have a good one, and I will see you next time.